3477.
You are listening to Get Down to Business. I'm your host, Shalom Klein. We are the show all about small business, jobs, and entrepreneurship, when we frequently feature guests that offer fantastic resources, solutions for small businesses. And one of those fantastic resources that we love to spotlight are our good friends at Tandem HR. We call them our Solutions Center. I'm thrilled to be joined by Ryan Hayman from Tandem HR, and we've got a great, I know you've got some great tips and some great solutions that are available. Ryan, welcome to the program.
Thank you. Good morning. How are you, Shalom?
Good morning. Fantastic. So I know you're relatively new to Tandem, and I know you've been having a lot of fun learning all about the fantastic services that are provided. Welcome to the team. It's great to have you on the show. Thank you.
Actually, Bruce Leon, the president and CEO, I've known him for probably 10, 12 years plus since I've actually been in the industry, and in a previous life worked for various other PEOs and HRO type companies, and Bruce and I always connected and transferred leads and worked on different things together over the years. So I was glad to join forces finally with Tandem HR, and we're having a blast. We're writing all kinds of business, and it's been very exciting. Bruce has a very flexible model.
That's fantastic. And right now we're in an era, a time with a lot of increased regulations, and companies, small business owners like our listeners, are struggling to stay on top of those regulations. But the reality is that they don't have to in many of these cases. The idea is outsourcing and partnering with companies, professional employer organizations, PEOs like Tandem HR. So let's start right from the beginning. Ryan, tell us a little bit about some of the core services that you're most excited about being on the team at Tandem and being able to offer to the business community, large and small.
Sure. Well, being in the human resource business, sometimes that in and of itself is sometimes a misunderstanding for people. You can ask 10 different people what their definition of human resource or human resource outsourcing is and what it means to them, and a lot of times you get 10 different answers. It doesn't mean they're right or wrong. It just means that some people think, when they think of HR, they think of this massive internal department of 50 people that does everything A to Z. It's kind of this own governance island of payroll or benefits or litigated matters, EEO, Department of Labor, all kinds of things. So they really don't know. And then you ask a more small to medium-sized company, and you ask the CEO, and he'll say, well, I think I'm doing it all. I'm doing payroll myself. I'm doing managing all these vendors myself. And it becomes a very convoluted, time-consuming process for people out there that really don't know how to quantify really what HR outsourcing is.
That's absolutely correct. And so you mentioned PEOs. We talk about that a lot on this program, about professional employer organizations and how small businesses can actually take advantage of the sheer volume of these businesses that are out there and jump in to a larger pool and get increased services and get increased benefits. So let's talk about the benefits of this and what's too small and what's too big for a company to potentially participate and work with a PEO like Tandem.
Sure. And understanding PEO, you kind of have to go back to HRO, human resource outsourcing, and business process outsourcing, and realize that PEO, professional employment, is kind of a subset of or a subcomponent of that whole wider sector. And really the legal construct of professional employment means that that's the vehicle for a small business or medium-sized business to come on to our platform, the PEO platform, and really gain economies of scale and purchasing power there, because we are now sponsoring the benefits such as workers' comp, EPLI, medical benefits, the ancillary benefits. We have a shared fiduciary on the 401k. So they're really, as a 50, 7,500 person company, gaining access to thousands and tens of thousands of people that looks like a corporation that size. In the government's eyes and in the state's eyes, they have all this aggregation and are really able to gain some pricing variables there, and are really able to grow their company at a faster rate, lower their employee turnover, save on HR administration, and they're in a report from Burson and Associates, it was indicated 50% of the businesses that partner with a PEO are less likely to go out of business. So there's a lot of positives in that realm with partnering with PEO and going under the professional employment, co-employment model.
Wow. So, Ryan, I just want to make sure our listeners understand this. A small company like maybe not a one-man operation, but obviously somebody with employees, they can actually benefit from some of the same resources that might be available to a Fortune 500 company simply by joining that pool in a PEO like Tandem HR. That's
correct. So through that vehicle, through that construct of our service agreement, that small company is coming on and joining with all of the other companies that Tandem HR has signed up. So instead of a 50-person company, we go to market for benefits and workers' comp and all of those other things, looking at tens of thousands of employees. So when the underwriters and the actuaries look at Tandem, they say, wow, this is one big company. Now, of course, we have to manage those claims. We have to manage proactively those policies, which we do. And we do that somewhat by verticalization. We have subject matter experts that are familiar with the types of companies that Tandem gets involved with. So, some light manufacturing, some hospitality, nonprofit, financial services, technology services, all kinds of different areas that we are able to pinpoint and become the trusted advisor and the subject matter experts, so it's a much easier partnership for that person.
That's fantastic. So, Ryan, I want to ask the million-dollar question. What makes Tandem HR unique? Why Tandem HR's PEO over, I'm sure there are others that are out there. What's your unique value proposition?
Well, actually, we have a few differentiators that really stand above the rest of the market. One of them is Tandem's transparency. I was going to talk about our competitors, TriNet, and some of the other ones out there. They don't have the transparency that Tandem does, and they will. One of the things is on the invoicing, we show line item for line item what your per employee per month cost is going to be, and as your company scales and goes up, your per employee per month fee goes down. You get more a la carte service with the Tandem model. You can do carve-outs of insurance, of workers' comp, of EPLI, if it doesn't meet your company's needs or you've already got that in place. We can do a broker of record for the PNC and the health and life, and we can manage those claims until such point where we can get you a quote on that. So there's also an administrative service offering where there's the non-professional employment model, which is just we help manage and onboard the components of a company using their vendor. So they may already be with ABC payroll company and so on a broker and workers' comp, and that we actually can allow them to stay with those companies and still manage, still assist with managing the payroll, managing the HR through their vendors. And when it's
fantastic.
Time,
Ryan Hayman, we are just about out of time. Thank you so much for joining us on Get Down to Business. We'll be sure to have you back on real soon, but I want to make sure our listeners can find you if they have questions about the professional employer organization model and the services provided by Tandem HR?
You bet. They can get a hold of me at rhayman, RHAYMAN, at Tandem HR, TANDEMHR.com is my email, and my phone is 773-567-0159.
Fantastic. Well, Ryan, we'll be sure to check back in with you about these fantastic services and offerings that are made available from Tandem HR. But Chicago will be right back with more Get Down to Business after this quick break.
Winter State.